Hello, this is a free call from an incarcerated individual at San Quentin State Prison in San Quentin.
Keefe D is a former leader of the Southside Compton Crips who have been connected to the Tupac investigation for decades. And according to prosecutors, everything traces back to that night, September 7th, 1996, after Pac and members of Death Row and his entourage got into a fight with Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson. Everyone knows the story inside the MGM Grand. Now, prosecutors allege Keefe D that then helped organize a retaliation. They say he obtained a gun and was inside the white Cadillac that pulled alongside Pac and Suge Knight that night. Keefe D is not accused of being the shooter, but prosecutors claim he helped plan the attack and supplied the weapon. What eventually helped bring the case back to life were Keefe D's own words. Over the years, he's publicly discussed being inside the Cadillac, gave interviews, and wrote a book about the shooting called Compton Street Legend. And authorities say those statements helped revive the investigation, eventually leading to his arrest and indictment. What were your thoughts, man, when you first heard about the Keefe D situation?
I knew it was a matter of time. After that book came out, I said, yeah, it's a matter of time. And sure enough, it happened, you know. And the funniest thing about it, if there is anything funny, is I heard him say in the interview, I ain't write no book. I just told somebody my story. I ain't never even read the book. Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, come on, dude. So now you got to pay the piper. Man, it's bad. It's all bad.
Yeah, it's all bad for him. You know, what do you think about just the fact that he comes from a background, an organization, a lifestyle where you're supposed to not say things. You're supposed to be quiet. You know, if you do something, you're not supposed to say anything. But he's doing the opposite, out doing interviews, writing a book. You know, as someone who lived that life before, how does that aspect hit you?
It's a strange thing because he's from that generation that instilled that code into us, the young generation that came after them, about this code of silence and this G code and all of this different crap, right? And then he go break the code. And now he gonna be an example of his own mischief. It's all devilment, man. It's all devilment. You know, so he gotta pay the piper now. You know, it's unfortunate, man, that we get caught up in these type of situations with gangs and criminality and all of this different kind of stuff. You know, it's like a house of cards. You know, you just hit that one card and it's gonna all come down. You know, I just wish we had done better and had different opportunities to live a different kind of life than to be sitting off in a jail cell on trial for your life. Particularly for this, I think he's 60-ish, and he's got health conditions.
Mm-hmm.
This gonna take him out. It's gonna end this way. This is a tragedy. This is very unfortunate for a person to have wasted their life in this manner by pledging allegiance to the rag of the streets of you fill in the blank. This is the end result. You know? It's not even funny. It's unfortunate. We lost one of the greatest stars of our time, of our generation, one of the greatest lights as far as entertainers and educators and, you know, for people of color anyway. And then this guy, he's on trial for his life. His nephew then already lost his life. The other two individuals that they named, I believe they're deceased too. Like, come on, man, everybody's dead. What's the payoff to this?
Pac is, as you mentioned, one of the greatest minds in entertainment, especially for people of color. But there's this one song that I was listening to the other day that stood out, and it's so relevant to everything that's going on. And that's the great thing about Pac, is he wrote music that can be relevant in 1992, 2002, 2028. And one of those songs is Keep Your Head Up. Great song. Top 5 Pac song, in my opinion, from my personal opinion. But there's a few lyrics that I would love for you, Ali, to decipher. When you hear them, I would love to know what memory it brings out, what your thoughts are, what Pac may have thought when he wrote this. The first one, and this one probably hits more harder now with everything that's going on in Iran right now. Simple line: we got money for wars, but can't feed the poor. When you hear that lyric, Ali, we got money for wars, but can't feed the poor, what does that say to you?
It reminds me of a khutbah that the Imam here at San Quentin gave not long ago. And in that khutbah, he explained, khutbah is a sermon during the Friday service for Muslims. In that khutbah, he explained that Muslims, we pay 2.5% of whatever we own, at a certain time of year, right? That's our poor tax, for lack of better words, right? And that money is redistributed among less fortunate people, not just Muslims, just people, right? And he said that there was a study that came out that said that in America, if the wealthiest people just gave 2.5% of their overall wealth, that it would be enough money to end the homeless crisis in America. Not just paying a tax on your revenue for the year, skip that. Just give one time 2.5% of your wealth, and it would end the crisis. Blew my mind. Am I making sense? You can pay taxes on your revenue every year at 35% when you're wealthy, or you can just pay time on your all of your wealth at 2.5%, and it would end the crisis in America. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah.
The difference is that your yearly revenue income is going to fluctuate, but you're going to be taxed at a higher percentage, 30, 35%. They want to go up to a super wealth tax of like 40%. They want to take almost half of what you're making.
Yep.
Now, if the option was to pay that every year, 30, 35, 40% of your income in taxes, or just pay one time, stop hiding your assets, and just pay one time, 2.5%, we'd end the crisis.
Let's move on to another one. This one's deep. This one really hits home because it's something that I see a lot. I've seen a lot growing up. I didn't really understand it till I was older, but the degradation of our women, dog. The way we treat our women. And Pac has a very powerful line in this song, Keep Your Head Up. He says, and since we all came from a woman, got a name from a woman, and our game from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women. Do we hate our women? That's always been a very powerful thing to me. And even more so now that I'm, knocking on 50's door. I didn't understand it when I was 15, and I was calling bees and hoes, and, I was doing all that. But a little bit different at this age. But what do you think when you hear that? And since we all came from a woman, got a name from a woman, and a game from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women. Do we hate our women? What does that say to you, Ali?
That says that we need, as men, to do some deep soul searching and rediscover all the way back to our tribal roots the place of a woman in society. There's several markers, depending on who you talk to, about how to measure a society. Some say it's by how they treat their incarcerated. Others say it's by how they treat their women. How they treat their women, right? And I think we forgot how to treat our women during slavery. Seeing our women, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, taken out of the cabin to Uncle Tom's cabin, raped, and returned pregnant to her husband by another man. How can you psychologically still love, cherish, and care for your partner, your life partner, when you seeing these type of atrocities generation after generation after generation? So I think there's just a disconnect, and slavery has a major part to do with it. There's no excuse now. We're 100 plus years or so out of slavery, physical bondage. Now we in material bondage.
Exactly. I was about to say so. Yeah.
So we just got to reclaim our sanity. Reclaim our sanity. Redefine ourselves and stop looking for others to define us in our reality. And make the best of it. Make the most of it. I didn't learn how to treat my parents, my wife, my daughters until I became Muslim. And there was a prescription in there from God Almighty about how to deal with these things, how to deal with these relationships. For me, my mother has 3 times the rights of my father because she carried 3 burdens with me, right? And so it's to the point where I can't even suck my teeth when she say something that make me mad.
Right.
That's not allowed.
Yeah.
All that for real? No. I gotta zip it.
You have 1 minute left.
So, let us reconnect and let us find what is the best medicine for relationships, and let's do some self-healing.
This one right here, Ali, is what I really would love to hear your opinion on this quote from Tupac. And it's not just a quote. It's actually the name of the song, Keep Your Head Up. Simple but powerful. As someone who has done this much time in prison, who has seen what you've seen, experienced what you've experienced, how important is it to keep your head up?
Extremely important. That's the only way you're going to see over the wall is by looking up. So I keep my head up, but I lower my gaze from things that I shouldn't be looking at. So it's a 2-parter. Keep your head up, but lower your gaze, man, from things that you shouldn't, things that will take you off the path. And so I keep my head to the sky, man. I try to walk laps, several times a week. I hit that track. And I'm always looking to the sky when I do, because that's the only thing I can see. I'm surrounded by walls. Most of the penitentiaries I've been in, I've been behind the wall. There's only been a couple that had like gates where I could see out into the world. So I'm accustomed to keeping my head up. You only got 1 or 2 options. You're going to keep your head up, or you're going to walk with it down. So, and if you're walking with your head down, your crown going to slip.
Nolan Wells was an 18-year-old student athlete who went to school in Mississippi with friends. And on July 4th, I do believe, his friends returned to the mainland, but Nolan didn't. 2 days later, his body was discovered near the island. Authorities initially said they suspected drowning, and they said they had not found evidence of foul play, but the case quickly became controversial. Nolan's friends reportedly said he chose to stay behind, possibly to spend time with the girl. His parents don't believe the story. One major question is why Nolan would intentionally stay on the uninhabited island without his cell phone or keys, because his friends reportedly had them. So there have been conflicting accounts about whether Nolan actually intended to leave with his friends. But then came the autopsy controversy, and independent examination couldn't conclusively determine the cause of death because of decompensation. But questions were raised about red discoloration or an injury around the back of his neck. So that fueled theories online, and Nolan that he may have gotten into an altercation and was intentionally left behind, or that people knew more than they were saying. When you first heard the story, what were your first initial general thoughts?
I mean, first and foremost, my heart cracked for his parents. It's a horrible thing for your child to go out and not come home. Nobody thinks that. Like, he's not coming back. She's not coming back. Particularly when they go out with friends. But as I got into the story, I found it strange that when they said how many people were out boating that day, that there were several boats, and that there were, some reports say, up to 100+ people out that day. And so an accidental drowning, and nobody, in this day and age where phones are out all the time and everything's going on,
Right.
nobody saw nothing. There was no footage of nothing. Man, they got footage of people picking their nose at home that make it on the internet, but no footage of an accidental drowning. Like, wow. But to pivot, I think that it's critical for people like Ben Crump to put the spotlight on things like this, right? And the first time I saw Ben Crump on these types of cases, I was cringing. Like, it reminded me of Reverend Al Sharpton back in the day. And I'm like, oh, here we go again with one of these Negroes.
Grifter type, yeah.
But then when I began to see the type of cases that he takes, and that he already got a major bag, so it's not about the money. He was already a successful civil attorney before we even knew anything about him. But it became important for us, not just black people or people of color, but just for Americans, man, people that's tangled up in the legal system, to have people available to you like that can highlight your case. And I think we need more people like Ben Crump coming along, going to college and getting those degrees, and really like stepping out there, criminal or civil, and just representing people and seeking truth. You know, it's not. I don't like to boil it down to a white thing or a black thing, or white people or black people, or there's a lot of nuances with all of that. But just as people tangled up in the legal system, man. And so I hope his family gets justice, and what was done in the dark is surely going to come to light. And I just don't know how. One time I almost drowned as a kid, right? 5 years old, living in Cudahy with my parents in an apartment, and they got the big swimming pool. It goes from 3 feet to 9 feet or whatever. This is my first time in a big pool, and I jumped in the deep end, not realizing how deep that was, and I almost drowned. Everybody in the pool area was suddenly alerted by this little 5-year-old body flailing, kicking, screaming, gurgling water, going up and down. Can't really go to the bottom of the pool, can't make my way to the top. In a matter of seconds, my mom jumped into the pool and rescued me and pulled me out the water from drowning.
Yeah.
That's a little 5-year-old kid. You telling me a young adult man drowns and nobody seen it? I don't know. Strange thing.
Now, obviously, none of us know exactly what happened, but you've followed the case like I have and others have. If you could guess what happened based on the information that you currently have, what do you think happened?
I don't know. I don't like to really speculate and guess because I've seen so many people on the criminal side of things that were wrongfully convicted. It seemed plausible what was said and what was presented, but factually, these people were innocent, proven by DNA, proven by recanted eyewitness testimony. So that's one of those things, man, that I hope that we as a people get more concrete and dialed in on. You know what I mean? It's just like really like getting down to the truth without the speculation. Let's get down to the fact of the matter. Like I said, I know people from my community that were wrongfully convicted. They did not do the crime that they were convicted of. But the evidence and everything that was presented and the person's history made it plausible. And that was enough. And I would hate to do that to these other young men and women who were there that day. I would hate to see one of them or all of them wrongfully convicted if it really was an accidental drowning that nobody played a part in. That would be a double travesty. He lost his life, and then these people get wrongfully convicted. You know?
Well, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and a former gangbanger said a couple of things. Actually, these were two separate podcasts. I want two separate quotes that I would love your thoughts on. The first one was, he said he knew gangbanging in the streets were a myth when he went to prison and he was forced to program and eat and sit next to his sworn enemies who just months before that he was encouraged to take out in the streets. I would love to know your thoughts on that quote specifically, and when did you realize that the streets and banging were a myth?
That's that's situational as far as like sitting next to a sworn enemy. Uh, there was a time in prison where that just wasn't happening. They was not gonna sit at the same. They would sit on opposite ends of the chow hall. They work out on opposite ends of the yard. They would never sell up in California. Back when I first came in as a kid at 19 years old, that was not happening. Right, a little bit amongst the blacks, you know, the walls were coming down, but there was still a divide. What was happening was older homies had gotten past that, and you would see them walking laps together, uh, hanging out at work together, eating together in the chow hall. But these were guys who had soldiered together from juvenile hall through the county jail through YA to prison, and the dynamic had changed for them from fighting each other to fighting others, and they had been bonded by that, and then that was able to spread to youngsters like myself, seeing that and not being afraid to step over that color line between red and blue or whatever it was. Seeing these older dudes doing it, so that's here in California. But I knew that something was up when I got to prison and I realized what nobody tripping but the people that trip. It wasn't mandatory. If you was on that like that and you was looking for that, you was looking for the smoke, there was people that was gonna give it to you. You didn't have to be like that. And I had been living my life like that, thinking that I had to be turned up, I had to be with the business and engaged in this foolishness. But the reality was that most of the time you can just kind of do your thing, find your lane, and kind of like straighten your life out, dare I say, if you chose to. There was options, is what I'm saying. I didn't know there was options. I thought that it was just This is how it is. It wasn't until I got to prison and I seen people exercising those options, going to vocational school, uh, people going to work. These are dudes on the street that I've never seen from our community. I've never seen them dudes where they sold work, and hit licks and did all sorts of criminal activity. They come to prison. These dudes got a prison job working in the factory. Like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So once I started seeing people exercising their options, I realized that I had options too, and that somewhere along the line, I had been fooled into believing that there ain't no options. It's just this until you get murked or you get washed up. That's when I knew, like, nah, there's more to this. Because these older dudes ain't talking about getting out doing no foolishness. They talking about getting out kicking it, going to barbecues and picnics, getting a job, staying with their girl. You know what I mean? They ain't calling their wife no B and no H and none of that. They out there hugged up. Man, who this? These were the same people that I had this impression were just ruthless, scandalous individuals. I didn't know that they had another side. But it didn't come out until I got to prison.
Another quote that stood out to me while I was listening to a podcast, another former gangbanger, and just in between conversation, he casually said something that stood out. He said, quote, "I've never met a lifer who would do it twice." And for whatever reason that stood out to me, especially, because you and I do this show, I would love to know your thoughts on that quote. "I've never met a lifer who would do it twice."
Unfortunately, I can name a couple of lifers that have done it twice. Unfortunately, and I'll leave them individuals nameless. Did a life sentence, got out, and caught another life sentence. The most I've ever seen in prison, there was this one cat, white dude, older dude. He claimed to have done 3. He was on a life sentence. In total, he said he had served 3 life sentences. Did a life sentence, got out, did another life sentence at some point, got out, and now he was stuck on the last life sentence, which he's probably going to croak in prison on. 3 life sentences. But he wasn't the smartest cat either. But yeah, I've seen some dudes who managed to get found suitable for parole after walking off a life sentence, go out there and not just like catch a 3 strike or something, like went out and engaged in some high risk criminal gang activity and get washed again. Again, he's not the sharpest knives in the cupboard, but I have seen that. No thinking man is going to do a life sentence and want to do it again. That's totally out of the question. So I agree with the brother there. No thinking man. But unfortunately, there are some out there. The statistics, the data on lifers, right, is somewhere around, I don't know, these numbers fluctuate and there's been some controversy around them, but somewhere between 1% and 6% of lifers recidivate, meaning come back to prison within 2 years for a charge, right? Which is really low compared to non-lifers who are recidivating at like 60+%, 64, 67%. This means that maybe 1, 2, or 3 lifers get out and they come back on a violation or a new charge. But non-lifers, you're talking 60, 65 out of 100 coming back within 2 years. So our numbers are really low, and they saying it's less than 1% for lifers that have a college degree coming back to prison. So I just joined. I'm in the first cohort at San Quentin for the Cal State LA bachelor's degree program. I'm one of 34 people that made it into the first cohort to get my bachelor's degree. The Cal State LA bachelor's program that operates in California prisons has a 0% recidivism rate. Nobody that has been found suitable and gotten out of prison that has that bachelor's degree from Cal State LA has ever come back to prison.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Are black people our own worst enemy? A black business owner recently went viral for saying black people ruined his business.
Black people destroyed my rental car business, and I am forever done. As of January 1st, 2025, I am closing doors on my rental car business. I have 15 cars, and trust me, it's been nothing but a lot of problems when it comes to my own people. That's really sad. You would think black people would support a black business and treat it kindly. However, they have treated me extremely bad. Now, I'm not here to say that there wasn't any problems with other races of people. However, I will promise you 90% of my problems were from my own people. As an example, here in Orlando, we just had the football classic weekend, and lots of people fly in from all over the country to come to the college football classic weekend. They drive in. It was thousands of people that poured into the city. I rented my cars out for the Orlando Classic weekend, and a lot of my cars came back. Rims are scratched up. One guy totally destroyed a $2,500 rim to my Mercedes. Burn marks in my seats, burn marks in the center console on the leather. I mean, they literally just have no respect for anything, and I'm really tired of it. I'm not the only person complaining about this. There are other black people in the rental car space and YT people and other people of all races that say black people are the #1 problem when it comes to this business. You all have no respect. You tear down everything. You smoke and burn up cars. You do everything. As a matter of fact, one of the worst situations I've also had is when a black woman took my car to South Carolina, left it there, and said she's not returning it because she doesn't feel like it. So a tow truck had to drive from Florida all the way to South Carolina to pick up the car. That's just disrespectful and wrong.
Damn. Did y'all soak all that in? This man right here, black gentleman, who probably came from nothing to something, owning a business where it seems like he's renting out luxury vehicles. He mentioned Mercedes, right? And he said that most of the people who come in acting an ass, most of the people who give him problems are his own people. Damn, that was deep. So deep. I'm going to play it again. We're going to break it down piece by piece. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. This black gentleman is letting you know that black people ruined his business.
Black people destroyed my rental car business, and
not only ruined, destroyed. Something like ruining something and destroying it, in my opinion, two totally different things. Ruining it, I could drop my phone right now, crack the case on purpose, right? That's ruining it. Destroying it is taking this same phone and throwing it against the wall till it shatters in 100 pieces. This black man says his own people destroyed. Destroyed. Pay attention to the wording. His business.
I am forever done. As of January 1st, 2025, I am closing doors on my rental car business. I have 15 cars.
As of January 1st, 2025, this man has to close down his business because his own people destroyed it.
And trust me, it's been nothing but a lot of problems when it comes to my own people. That's really sad. You would think black people would support a black business and treat it kindly. However,
you would think, right? That sounds logical. Sounds like the logical thing to do. You pull up, you see this respectful black gentleman, not speaking out, yo, what's up, man? Owning this reputable business of luxury rental vehicles. You would think that the average person with his same skin tone would pay him a little more respect. Not our people.
They have treated me extremely bad. Now, I'm not here to say that there wasn't any problems with other races of people. However, I will promise you 90% of my problems were from my own people.
9 out of 10 of his customers, the problem customers, 9 out of 10 of his problem customers are people with his own skin tone. Gee whiz, man. As my YT friends will say out there, gee whiz. Man.
As an example, here in Orlando, we just had the football classic weekend, and lots of people fly in from all over the country to come to the college football classic weekend.
And what's the first thing we do when we fly in? We rent a luxury vehicle because that's what we do.
We drive in, it was thousands of people that poured into the city. I rented my cars out for the Orlando Classic weekend, and a lot of my cars came back. Rims are scratched up.
Rims scratched up.
One guy totally destroyed a $2,500 rim to my Mercedes.
Destroyed a $2,500 rim. You think he was, what, was he sitting sideways? Oh, it was in a day. What was he doing to destroy a $2,500 rim? First of all, let's take a quick break from this and discuss why my people feel the need to floss and rent luxury vehicles. You think, like, the average person does that? No. Not even the average wealthy person does that. Bill Gates don't be doing that ish. But first thing we do, we love to throw our money. And shout out to the people, they're at least giving it to a black business, right? But you give to a black business and you turn around and destroy it.
Mercedes, burn marks in my seats, burn marks.
Burn marks from the backwoods, son. Tyrone was in the back, hitting that backwoods, son. Rolled it up really nice. Hey, it's not our car, dog. Don't worry about it. I got the insurance, homie. I got the insurance.
And the center console on the leather. I mean, they literally just have no respect for anything. And I'm really tired of it. I'm not the only person complaining about this. There are other black people in the rental car space.
He's not the only person complaining about this. There are other folks in the rental car space with his same complexion who are noticing the same exact thing.
And YT people and other people of all races that say black people are the number one problem when it comes to this business.
The number one. I don't know if that's the number one we want to be. Destroying our own people's businesses. We're number one at doing that. Round of applause. Round of applause to my people for making it number one. That's something, shit.
You all have no respect. You tear down everything. You smoke and burn up cars. You do everything.
Coming back with that loud, son. We smoked 4 blunts of that loud, son. And our Mercedes, homie, 2024 Mercedes player, $3,000 a day, man. Hey, I know I still live in an apartment. But shit, man, I'm a splurge. It's hey, homie, it's football weekend, homie. We splurging. Hey, but we only made $3,500 this week on our check, man. I don't care. I'm spending $3,300 on it on this Mercedes, homie. And we just gonna drive around. But we gonna stay in a hotel? Nah, homie, we gonna sleep in the car. Hello.
As a matter of fact, one of the worst situations I've also had is when a black woman took my car to South Carolina, left it there, and said she's not returning it because she doesn't feel like it. So a tow truck had to drive from Florida all
Goddamn.
the way to South Carolina to pick up the car. That's just disrespect.
Tow truck from Florida to South Carolina does not sound cheap.
Respectful and wrong.
What do you think, about this gentleman here and his problems with his business that he will have to close very soon, within the next 2 weeks, because his own people don't know how to act? Comment down below. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And please, if you are joining us for the first time and you like what you hear, you hate what you hear, but you're entertained, hit that subscribe button. Welcome to DustyVisionTV. Now, I've talked about this in the past, but my people have not single-handedly, for the most part, my people, black folk, we have destroyed more businesses in our community than in any group outside of us in America could ever think about doing. I mean, let's keep it real. Let's go back to the riots in 92. I was around for that. I was around for the riots. I remember that like it was yesterday. I was 14 years old, 1992. And I remember seeing people, mostly with my complexion and darker, running into buildings, running into stores, running into salons, running into wig stores, all that. It was mainly my people. I'm keeping it real. All the people I know in my personal life over the years who were involved in that and out there doing that, it was all my people. Mostly my people. But what do you think happened after the smoke cleared, literally and figuratively, and these black businesses had to go back to Compton? They had to go back to Watts. They had to walk back to their store that was destroyed to the ground. When that smoke cleared and they were able to get themselves back together mentally, the first thing they did was they got the heck out of the hood. That's why there's no more black businesses in the ghetto. None. Every business, 9 out of 10 businesses, is owned by others. And I'm not hating. Get that money. I'm not hating at all. But right after the riots of 1992, Rodney King, man, rolling in his Subaru, leads the cops on a high-speed chase. They end up in Simi Valley, and they whiz-za-za-za-zup Rodney's ass. That led to an uprising, a protest. What do we call them nowadays? A peaceful protest. But 17 people were burned to a crisp. It's a peaceful protest. Whatever we call it back in 92, we called it a riot. We called it uprising, whatever the case was. Stealing Jordans. All that good stuff. Just destroying a lot of black businesses. Here's this video that I remember seeing over the years. And when I first saw it, it brought tears to my eyes. It upset me. All of the above. It made me feel so many emotions. With this black man standing in the streets of South Central Los Angeles, yelling, pleading to the crowd, "Why did you do this to my business?"
Right! It's not right what y'all doing! I came from the ghetto too! You made the white man! Why destroy my business? Why destroy my truck? Why steal my computer? I'm trying to make it! Could you understand that? Did y'all see it? I'm trying to make it! Right!
Even watching this, 32 years. I can't believe I'm saying that. 32 years later. Still kind of emotionally messes with me. Watching this older black man who says, I'm from the ghetto too. I didn't do nothing to you. Why did you destroy my business? Everything I've worked for. Why? And there's just a group of people around. This is on YouTube. You can check it out. Just type in, I don't know, LA riots destroyed black man's business. You can see the full tape, but see the emotion in this man's face. Oh, I would love to talk with him today. God willing, he's still alive. He's probably 50 in this, so he's probably 80, but he left because his own people destroyed his business.
It's not right what y'all doing.
It's not right what y'all doing.
I came from the ghetto too.
I came from the ghetto too. You mad at the white man? Why destroy my business?
Why destroy my truck?
Why destroy my truck?
Why steal my computer?
Why steal my computer?
I tried to make it.
Can't you understand that? Can't y'all see that?
I tried to make it.
I tried to fucking make it. Watching this right now, pisses me off. And that's been 30 years. Who's the real enemy here? We cry all day about other groups trying to destroy us. We've done more harm to ourselves than any group could, times 10, in 10 lifetimes could have done. We did it. And people get upset at me for pointing this stuff out. Dusty Vision, you're always tearing your people down. I raise my people up way more than I ever tear or get down upon them. But when we do bonehead like this, running into other people's businesses, destroying them, going into other people's businesses and destroying them. I need to calm down because my blood pressure has been a little high lately, according to my doctor. So I'm going to take a little breath. And I'm going to just pray for you niggas. I'm going to just pray for you. It's a wonder why no one wants to come to our hood and set up shop. And, oh, they never bring anything to the ghetto. Because we destroy it. Is there a black city in America? Let's get down to the raw bones. If you have, put your big boy panties on today, because we're going to have some real conversations. Is there a city in America that's mostly black that does not look like trash? Serious question. Is there a city in America that's mostly black that doesn't look like trash? Go do your homework. Do you live in a city like that? Comment down below. No, man, I live in such and such, whatever. Most of the people here are good. And I'm not talking about the people, because people are good everywhere. I'm talking about look around. Go outside. Is there graffiti on all the walls? Go outside. Is there trash everywhere? That's what I mean. I don't mean the people. This has nothing to do with people. People live where the heck they can afford to live. And in this day and age, I 100% get it. But let's keep it real. Because I'm thinking of a few cities in my head that I know are mainly people of my color. And I can't say I'd want to move back there. Or move there, period. If anyone out there has never lived in that type of shit. So comment down below. Let me know. Am I tripping? Take a little put up for that. Calm my nerves. I just get, these things excite me a little bit. And if none of y'all want to talk about this stuff, then I'm going to bring it up. Okay? I'm going to bring it up. This man right here owned a business. I don't know what it was in 1992 that he owned. But he said, you destroyed my truck as well. This man who probably came from nothing wanted to be something. I don't know, maybe leave something for his grandkids. But Rodney King gets whiz-za-za-zup by the cops, and we don't know how to act, so we go into this man's place of business and destroy it.
It's not right what y'all doing. I came from the ghetto too. You mad the white man? Why destroy my business? Why destroy my truck? Why steal my computer? I'm trying to make it. Could you understand that? Did y'all see it? I'm trying to make it. Right.
Dang, that really does something to me emotionally, man. I love my people. I love people. Let's start there, like FYBJ Maine would say. Let's start there. I love people. But I love black people. Because out of all the shit that America has put us through, we still manage to be here and excel. I raise my people up, but when we do bonehead shit like this, it really upsets me. And it makes America think we're all like this. When in reality, we're not. The average person would never go into another man's place of business. The average black person would never go into another man's place of business and destroy it. But you know who will? Niggas. It's really sad. And we're doing it to this day. We're doing it to this day. Am I tripping? Comment down below. Please, hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, you hate what you hear, you're entertained by what you hear, whatever the case may be, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell right there. And if you're watching live, listening live, and you want to throw me a few bucks, there's a $sign right there. I'll take it. I appreciate it. I ain't too proud to beg. Shout out to Left Eye. She was so fine. She was so fine. All right. Now, something else I would love to discuss with you guys. I want to apologize. I want to apologize for my generation. What do you mean, Dusty Vision? You want to apologize for your generation? Are you on that wacky tobacco stuff again? I want to formally apologize. Shame on my generation for turning a blind eye to the reality of what was going on in the music business back in the 90s. With artists who, although they were doing some really suspect stuff, we kept playing their music over and over again because it was fire. R. Kelly kept playing that music. Diddy, we kept playing that music. And now, possibly, Jay-Z. One of my favorite, if not my favorite rap. He's definitely up there in my top 5. Always been one of my favorite rappers. I don't think too many people out there can mess with Hove when it comes to a microphone. and business. The man is a brand. If you've been under a rock, you have probably not heard that Jay-Z is the latest. He's the latest he's getting the Me Too treatment, volume 2.0. I am objective. Even though I like someone's music, doesn't mean I'm going to side with them completely. I'm objective. So I want to look at this from an objective situation tonight. Once again, where was everyone in the 90s? We were turning a blind eye to stuff that was right in front of our faces. In the 90s, we turned a blind eye when R. Kelly was dating Aaliyah, who was under the age at the time. Not allegedly. It's simple math. When was she born? When did she start dating R. Kelly in the public? Go look back. Oh, but they say, they didn't do it until their wedding night. Anyone who believes that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell you. All I need is your social security. I'll just need your bank information. And just send me $1 million up front. Send me your whole, $1 million up front. Anyone who believes that R. Kelly and Aaliyah weren't doing the deed before she turned 18. Stop. Let's just stop. But we turned a blind eye to it. We all knew it back then. And what's the difference? Why weren't we saying anything is what I'm trying to figure out. It took this generation who has the internet and the Me Too and we kind of grew up in that sense to say, wait, that was not correct. Maybe we should look into this guy a little more. But back then, we knew R. Kelly was messing with Aaliyah when she was younger. But we didn't care. I'll tell you what we were doing. We were bumping 12 play. 12 play. Give me some love. 12 play. Yeah, now 12 play has a whole different meaning to it. Doesn't it? Seems like you're ready. Girl, are you ready? Seems like you ready? Girl, are you ready? Right in front of our faces. And we didn't do nothing about it. And R. Kelly wasn't the only one. Aaliyah. Age ain't nothing but a number. Age ain't nothing but a number. Girl, I love that jam. Me too, girl. You know she dating R. Kelly, right? Girl, she lucky. Lucky, she's a damn kid. But we didn't give a damn. We were dancing to the tunes. Shame on my generation for turning a blind eye to the reality of what was going on in the music business back in the 90s. Y'all know how old Foxy Brown was? When she was singing, ain't no like the one I got, no one can fuck you better. Sleeps around, but she was 15. But we didn't give a damn. Girl, put that Foxy Brown and Jay-Z tape back in. Foxy Brown was 15 saying she got the ill nana on songs with Jay-Z. I'll repeat that. Foxy Brown was 15 saying she got the ill nana. See, y'all know what the ill nana is? Huh? The ill nana. I've had some ill nana in the past, bro. I'm telling you. I got it now. My wifey got that ill nana too. You know what I mean? So I'm good. I'm invested for life, so I'm good. Ill nana is that good pussy. Ill nana is a type of pussy that have you busting out car windows. Ill nana is that type of pussy that will have you standing outside your ex-girlfriend's apartment with a hatchet and a hammer, butt naked, soaked in vegetable oil. That Il Nana boy, oh, it's powerful. But should a 15-year-old, check the record, she was 15 at the time, should, and I know because I was about her age at the time. And I was into Foxy Brown. I love me some Foxy Brown, boy. But I was her age, so it was okay. I wasn't a weird 25-year-old like, oh, Foxy Brown, sexy. She got that Il Nana. She's 15. Yeah, that Il Nana, have you on top of a roof, praying to a God you don't even believe. The Il Nana will have you pray to a whole God you never even believed in. The Il Nana will make you go from Catholic to Protestant. Goddamn. Il Nana will have you going from being a Latter-day Saint to a Jehovah's Witness, bro. It happens all over the world. I know people who got that Il Nana thrown on them and they completely changed religions. But should a 15-year-old be talking about her Il Nana on a song with a grown-up? Would that even fly today? Heck no. Heck no. See, Sexy Red can get away with it because Sexy Red's in her 20s. People like Megan Thee Stallion can get away with it because they're in their 20s. If Megan Thee Stallion was 15 on a song with DaBaby talking about she got the Il Nana, it would not get played nowadays. Why were we allowing that back in the 90s? And that is why I say shame on my generation for turning a blind eye to the reality of what was going on in the music business back in the day. And the thing is, look, in the real world, chicks have, and I'm not saying this is right, by the way, chicks have always been attracted to older guys. It was like that when I was in high school. All of the super hot girls at school, they weren't dating guys at the school. They were dating guys that graduated already. Dudes in college. So this is nothing new, unfortunately. It's been going on, especially more back in my day, I think. I don't think nowadays, and I'm glad we grew up in that sense, to where, that's weird, dog. You're 15 and she's 15 and you're 19? No, that's weird, dog. But back then, we were ignoring them. Need I say more? Foxy Brown was on a song at age 15 talking about how good her vagina is. With the man in his 20s. And we turned a blind eye to it. R. Kelly was dating Aaliyah. So much more younger than her. But we didn't care, did we? Those songs were bumping, weren't they? We should be ashamed of ourselves. And I'm the first to say I was right there. But I was in my teens, so I can't really say something. The 30-year-old, 40-year-old should have been saying something. But y'all just allowed it. And now it's coming right back to bite you in the ass. I'm very interested to see where this Jay-Z thing is going to go. Very, very interested to see where this thing is going to go. He's one of my favorite rappers. But if he did what he's accused of doing, he's a piece of shit. Simple, point blank. And if he really did do all that, what he is accused of doing, I kind of hope he loses everything. Just like Diddy lost everything, because no one should take advantage of somebody like that. No one should take advantage of someone like that. But I'm going to get the heck out of here. I do appreciate you joining the show. I am going to ask you one more time to hit that like button if you haven't already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, you don't like what you hear, but you're entertained somehow by this stupid mug right here, rockin' polo, and hit that subscribe button. Go on and hit it. Hit it right now. I'm not watching you, but I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Not for real. Hit that subscribe button if you're a little entertained by what you hear, man, and you want more. And don't forget to hit that notification bell button right below it so you get notified every single time I drop a video.